Did you know that the only thing standing between you and your dreams is a belief that you've been holding on to for far too long? I'm your girl, Mary Kay, and today we are kicking those self limiting beliefs to the curb. Whether you think you can or you think you cannot, you are correct. A few years ago, I had a friend who was studying for a big certification test that was going to advance her in her career. Out of nowhere, she had a family emergency and needed to go home. Of course, her initial response was, "This is overwhelming. I can't be in two places at one time. There's no way I'm going to be able to pass this test and take care of my family commitments." Spoiler alert, not only did she prioritize her family and take care of what needed to be taken care of, but she aced her test. Why did that happen? Because she believed she could. If you're feeling stuck in your life right now due to self doubt, I want you to remember that every belief that you have can be challenged. Maybe you're stuck and you don't know why you're stuck. One thing that most people do not take advantage of enough is the art of journaling. I can't tell you how many times I've found something I wrote 2 or 3 years ago, and to be able to look back at that time frame and see what I was dealing with at the time, and to also recognize that I was no longer in that place. Journaling will not only help you identify those negative thoughts, but it can actually help you find its origin. If you make it a habit to write every day, you can get to the root cause of what's going on with your life. And also, if you're facing some challenges, you can work it out through journaling. You know, those nights where you're up tossing and turning or somebody's made you mad. Journaling is the best thing that you can do. Why? Because you can work it out with that pen and paper. Okay, no need to fight, just write it out. I promise you'll sleep better. Well, journaling is just one thing you can do to get yourself out of self doubt. Remember, you weren't born with these self doubts that you have. Somewhere along the line, you picked them up, either on your own or by something someone said to you, whether they were saying something to you out of jealousy or out of spite. It's not Maybelline. You weren't born with it. Okay? If you are holding yourself back due to fear of failure, I hate to break it to you, but you actually don't have fear of failure. You might actually have fear of success. You see, if you try something, it's a 50-50 chance it's going to work out or it's not. But it's a 100% chance that it won't work out if you never try. You know, back in the day when you didn't turn in your homework and you got that automatic zero, you don't fear failure. You might fear success. You might fear the fact that this might actually work. And that might be what's holding you back. But the beautiful part about life is the capability to grow and change is always in your hands. Most people suffer with procrastination, and procrastination typically stems from perfectionism. Sometimes you just got to try something out, even if you don't think it's all the way perfect. What you deem as not perfect, someone else might think is spectacular and want 14 of them. Okay. A perfect example of not allowing perfectionism to cause procrastination is when restaurants do special items. Why? Because they're testing it out to see if people like it. If people don't respond to it, they don't go somewhere and cry about it and shut down the entire restaurant. They just take it off the menu and they move on to the next thing. Use that same philosophy in your life. It's okay to try things. If it doesn't work, oh well, you tried it. Sometimes you got to let go of the need to be perfect. You spend 5 years working on something that you could have put out at year two. A lot of times, life isn't holding us back, we're holding ourselves back. Okay? But remember, every story can be rewritten. So if you didn't catch them, I gave you 3 mantras today. Mantra number 1, every belief can be challenged. Number 2, I am capable of growth and change. And number 3, I choose to rewrite my story. At any point in life, if you're not satisfied where you are, it's time to make some changes. You do not have to accept your life as it is. You can always improve. So before we conclude today's video, I actually want to leave you with 3 Bible verses that will help you in resolving those self-limiting beliefs. The first one is 2 Timothy chapter 1, verse 7. I'm going to read it to you. For God has not given us a spirit of fear, but of power and of love and of a sound mind. Okay? Self-doubt and fear are not of God. God has given us the power within us to face those challenges head on. Jeremiah chapter 29, verse 11. For I know the plans I have for you, declares the Lord. Plans for welfare and not for evil, to give you a future and a hope. God's plans for us are not one of lack, not one of fear, not one of doubt, but of hope purpose, and promise. And that goes beyond any self-imposed limitations. In verse number 3, Romans chapter 12, verse 2. Do not conform to the patterns of this world, but be transformed by the renewing of your mind. Then you will be able to test and approve what God's will is, His good, pleasing, and perfect will. Renewing your mind, shifting your mindset is going to help you break those self-limiting beliefs and align with God's purpose for you. I remember last year talking with God, and I said, God, hold on now. I feel like you're trying to make me start preaching and stuff. That's not what I want to do. I just want to be a motivational speaker or something. I don't want to preach. But how many of you know that God's will for you goes beyond your fears and your doubts? You are doing what God wants you to do. Things are not going to be perfect, but they're going to be worth it. So hopefully today gave you enough information to get started on breaking down those self-limiting beliefs. Until next time, I'm your girl, Mary Kay, and have a beautiful day.